What's good, my good people? Tell me what's going on. How y'all doing today? I hope everybody is doing wonderfully well. I hit y'all up earlier today. Take my bad, dog. Hey, Mr. West. How are you today? I hope all is well. Coming through to have some girl talk with y'all. I hope everybody has been having an auspicious day. Hope you guys are following through with what we talked about earlier today. And we just want to talk to y'all because this is girl talk. And even though it's girl talk, we always value y'all's opinions, what y'all think, how y'all feel, etc., etc., etc. I'm just coming through to rap a little bit with you. Yeah. Tap in, tap in. I'm waiting for my co-host to come on in the building, in the room. Yeah, but I challenged y'all earlier when I talked to y'all just to, be light and love today and recognize when you have good people amongst you in your midst, like knowing who rock with you. You know what I mean? And when you know that you have people who rock with you who don't have strings attached, like it's no hey girl, like you know that you have people who rock with you to just really genuinely love you. Like I said earlier, love you enough to care about your soul. That's deep. Because we have a lot of people who pretend to care, who claim they care, but their actions never do line up. Love is an action word on and speaks many volumes of love. Love isn't in on one frequency, okay? Love is a frequency, but it is not one frequency. So you gotta know who's on your team, who your tribe is, who you vibe in your tribe. Because at the end of the day, people leaving up out of here, y'all. And a lot of our good ones that paved the way, in the last 3 days, we done lost some greats. All I kept hearing today was in my mind was "We Are One." "We Are One" by Frankie Beverly. I continue to have that in my spirit because I love Frankie Beverly. I love him to pieces. He is dope. I think he wants to be gone. That really messed me up. I've just been messed up repeating him by my own personal people who have crossed over. You know, kind of messed me up. So when you have people who echoing, when you have people who are genuinely on your side and they don't have no strings attached, love them. Keep them around because people is wicked. They doing the most. They will kill you and not think second about it. They'll pretend they like you, rob you blind, do whatever to destroy you just because their hearts is evil. And so when you have people who genuinely love you enough to care about your soul, stick with them. Stick. What's up, sis? What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, everybody. I'm good. Just winding down after a long day. You already know. Long day. No rest for the weary.
Well, I get it. Definitely do get it. Work, 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 work. hmm So yeah, we've been having discussions today. students, some of them is like talking to me about some stuff in class. You know, one of the points that one of the students brought up was she brought up how men don't have the platform or the outlets to be men, meaning to what they've been told that made them non-masculine. Is something that actually does display masculinity and strength. And she was saying how men aren't, supposed to cry, and how parents teach them that. And she was saying how she don't teach her children that. And I was like, absolutely, I don't either. Like, they will allow us to cry. Like, that's why our prison walls is full of us. I said we got to understand that that whole teaching came from Massa and them. So we continue to carry on the teachings of Massa and them. And we don't even realize that's what we're doing. And that is the root of all of this. Because you couldn't cry then, because if they saw a weakness in a black man as a slave, the enslaved person, you got killed off or sold off. That was your punishment for showing signs of weakness. So that's why they had to be made to be so strong so they would not die. Not to be so strong now that y'all don't mind killing each other, because now that thing has flipped. So now instead of y'all being not crying because y'all afraid to die, y'all not crying now. Y'all just don't mind killing each other. The program is time to be deprogrammed. Men should be allowed to express themselves. As a matter of fact, there's so many men that don't tap into that nurturing side of them, that it causes such a friction between men and women in relationships on personal levels, because they don't know how to articulate that. They don't know how to be open and vulnerable. They don't know how to be open and honest. And so to hear my student talking about just exactly what she said, they're not allowed to be vulnerable, is very true. And so that was one of the topics, that we were going to touch on today as well, was that, men, you have to be okay with being okay that you have a nurturing side. You have to be okay with someone that you can trust. I'm not saying be out here being all vulnerable with every female or every person, but you can discern who you should be able, I pray you're able to discern who you can be vulnerable with. That's not going to judge you or throw it up in your face. Oh, ain't that why you was crying? Then that she's much immature if it's a woman, and if that's your homeboy, he weak because he's somewhere pretending to be somebody that he's not. Men, you need to be able to have that outlet. You need to be able to have that outlet for the balance of you, for the balance of the yin and the yang. Like, we don't need y'all all stuffed up and trying to be hard and not able to be vulnerable, not being able to be soft when it comes time to spending time with a woman, because you so masculine. You overly masculine. Nobody wants that. It's like y'all don't want a woman being masculine. We don't want y'all being overly masculine, like, oh, you got to be so hard. There's no emotion there. You just cold. I told you something happened. You'll be all right. Or da-da-da, you'll be all right. Everything is not all right. Everything at that moment is not all right. Eventually, we pray that it will get all right. But if it doesn't get all right, it's just not all right. And y'all need to learn how to stop trying to make people, you guys that are like that, feel some type of way because somebody else might be able to recognize that it's not all right. It's okay to express yourself. It's okay to cry. It's okay to, admit all of those things. It's important to do that. It's important to do that. We have to teach these boys that, because right now they have no filter and no feeling. You know, as I had said earlier, I want to correct that, because the first news I had gotten, of course, when it first happened in the morning, early in the morning, while the young boy was at the bus stop, they had said it was a stray bullet, but come to find out, no, somebody went and killed that 15-year-old baby at the bus stop on his waiting for the bus for school. So this is the type of stuff that we have happening. And so to someone else or to another culture, or just another one of them. But to me, my heart is broken because somebody's mom had to get some news. And from my understanding, so happened, one of my students said that the young man's mother is a friend of his girlfriend's cousin. And so the mom had no idea. All day long, this woman thought her son was in school. He was killed first thing in the morning. She didn't find out until maybe this time at night. Can you imagine? You like, why he ain't home from school yet? Girl, my heart just broke. I had to gather myself together. Y'all know how I am. Like, I was just like, God, what? He was like, yeah, mom didn't even know. I was like, oh my God. So we have to know when people love you enough to care about your son, care about your kids, care about their well-being, care about your well-being, just checking on you, Seema. Those are the people that you want to try. That's the tribe you want to have. That's not the tribe you want to leave behind. That's the tribe you want to stick with for real. Because people are just wicked for just because they can be. And ain't even no rhyme or time or reason, just cause. Just cause. What you gotta say on it, sis?
I mean that's crazy. I just you know how I feel about the kids, and I'm not a biological parent, but I've mothered a few, many a few, and I don't. That right there is crazy. Um, it's like what really happened. Like who who was the negligence on for not notifying the parent? I like what like where is the disconnect here? That's I just have no words. Like that is crazy. That is crazy because
You know
it
how
just
I feel
doesn't.
about Newport News school system. This is the school system I've been, talking about. So.
And it's like somebody could at least they could have notified her, and I'm quite sure that when the situation arises and those kids that did make it to school, I'm quite sure that they were talking about it and said something to someone or a teacher or someone, and I'm not understanding how the principal or whomever administration at the school didn't say anything or even feel the need, like the nurse, the counselor, somebody. You didn't feel the need to contact the parent and let the parent know what was going on, like what happened or whatever. Even if they didn't know what happened, they should have at least still notified the parent, hey, there was an incident. We're not fully in the know of what happened. However, you know, we need you to come up here or contact the local police or go to the hospital, whatever. It's just like that doesn't even. I can't. I can't. That's just crazy. Go ahead.
And that's why the men they need the outlet. Young men, old men, y'all need that outlet. This enraging anger in this society right now is ridiculous, and it's ridiculous amongst black males. And now females are getting, crazy and irate as well. And so we need the balance back. We need the yin and the yang. We need that. That was created. It's the balance. It's the balance. It's the balance. It's the balance. Mm, I don't even know anymore. It's like you don't even know anymore where to go with it because we're not men. And the more we talk about it, the more like the one guy who you said is wanted you to engage, talking about some which had nothing at all to do with his comment. Like she didn't yeah, just he got on my nerves. But anyway, just the
It had absolutely nothing to do with the comment that was what. what that person said on the clip had absolutely nothing to do with what he was talking about. Again, like I said, that person is an attention monger. They like attention. They just, and I believe they just trying to get me to engage, and I didn't. And usually I don't. I don't. So I just don't. I don't have time for it. I just don't, because every time it's like every time I post something, even when I post something in regards to step in or whatever, like if I do a live, there's always something negative. Oh, it looked like a whole bunch of old folk up in there doing stuff. And I'm like, why? Okay, if you don't like what I do, if you have no interest in what I do, then don't come on my page. It's simple. It's simple. And then how would that be? You're trying to engage and talk to me, and I already see that um you have no regard for how I feel, the things that I like, what I enjoy doing, and that would be a no-go anyway, because if you're not willing to at least try or gain some type of interest in what I like, then that's a no-go already. That's like, don't even worry about it. Like, stay where you at. And that's how I feel. Like, just stay where you at. Like, if you having some emotional issues or whatever that's going on in your head, and whatever's going on in your head and your mind, that everything is ill, and you don't like this and you don't like that, then stay over there to yourself and don't even bother me. Just leave me be, because I'm good over here. Like, I enjoy my life. I love what I do. Everything I do is for my liking anyway. I don't do anything for anybody else. It's for my liking. So whatever I like, that's what I like, and that's what I'm going to do, and you can't stop me from doing it just because you always want to give some discouraging words, and then a post
That ain't
you're
even
going to,
attract.
right, and it's not. Like, it's not. And
Nobody
you,
want to see what they liking you back.
like,
Ew.
it's not. And then you come on and got something negative to say about somebody actually trying to give clarity on a situation to why we're having issues, male and female wise. Like, it was nothing feminist said in the post. She wasn't talking negative towards men. She wasn't downgrading men. She wasn't talking bad about men. She was just giving us a situation and what it could be. That's all she was saying. And giving us insight on what the issues are. That's it. I could see it if
Mm-hmm.
you gave, and then for you to post a comment and then not want to engage in a conversation, that's another turn off, because, sir, we can't even have a decent discussion with you, like an adult discussion with you. So just delete yourself. See, if it were like Facebook, I would have deleted the comment anyway. But it ain't like that. You can't, you
You
know what I'm saying?
can't hide them. You can't hide a comment on there though on here. But I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was. I just tagged you because he was talking, and I'm like, this had nothing to do, whatever. But I laughed because Slim came in and said when I said it's advised for you to just move around. Because look, he know us, so it's like, first of all, you're not even talking about anything that we're talking about. You're just trying to argue, and that's not what we trying to do. And so, yeah, but like, people are out here just natural antagonizers, and that's why I say you have to be around people who love you enough to care for your soul, and just yeah, just knowing that people are programmed. Our people are really programmed, and understanding that we have to be the change that we want to see. We got a whole lot of complaining we be doing, but who is really trying to do something. Because again, like I said, I don't even know what to do or what to say or how to even go about it anymore, because it's a really, men have to come together and make the conscious decision to change some of their behavior, and the lack thereof, and so you see your brother struggling, have discernment enough to know who wants saved or who wants to grow or who wants to learn, who wants to tap into their higher self, who wants to do the shadow work. You have to be able to discern those people. So those are the people you drop your nuggets on. You don't want to cast any pearls before no pigs. But all I'm saying is, at least discern who needs the information, who wants to grow, who may not know. Not all young men out here trying to be thugs or raised up like thugs. Sometimes young men are raised rightly because of lack of the extra masculine positivity teaching. They'll be led more astray to that which is not good, that which is a road of destruction, that which ends in a road of death, because they're looking for that, they're yearning, they're craving. We all crave the love of our Creator, so why would you not think or count it lightly that a child craves the love of whoever created them? And if they are in absence, mother or father, they're going to crave that. They're going to look for that. They're going to find that. They're going to search for that which they desire. So I don't know. I don't even know what to say other than our men are angry, and a lot of them have every right to be. But we just need y'all to channel it, or get with people that can help you channel it in a more healthy manner than out here killing each other like y'all lives don't. But get mad when somebody else treats us in the same manner y'all treat each other. No wrong is right, no matter who color it is. That's black on black or any other culture on black. It's all. One of the other questions that we talked about was the topic was about people being sexually abused as children. And I keep hearing these stories. Like, since I'm honest, I'm open, and I talk about these topics on here openly, whether it's a live I randomly do, it's in my book, whatever. We have real talk. We ain't fitting to act like people ain't hurting, people ain't broken, people out here been through a lot of shit. Men too. And men don't hide their molestation. Even if it was done by a woman, it still is wrong. Okay, so, one of the questions is, and I keep hearing this, as old as we are, like, how many people are damaged in this way in our culture? Jesus. I know in the last 2 years, I know I've talked to a good 30 different people that have told me somebody knew, like your mom knew. I'm like, your mom knew? So my question is, what is it in a woman that when your child comes to you to tell you that you have been touched, molested by an uncle, or aunt, a sibling, your man, what is it in a woman that you don't believe your child? That these kids, they grown. I mean, I can say these ass kids, they grown. They are age. Like anywhere from 36 to 66. I have an older person who died with her stuff with her because her mama knew, walked away like ain't nothing happened. And then when she got old enough to try to ask, well, why didn't you do anything? Her mama never would answer. Just never would sit right by her own daughter, had children for this man. And her mama got children for this man, had children for this man. And sat up and said she sat next to her mama and asked her, why did you walk away? Why did you let him do this? Said she sat just right there by her and never said a mumbling word, like she wasn't there, and looked on out away. What is it in a woman? Hey, Neat, what is it in a woman that would allow you to let this happen to your child and you know your man did. Is it their own fear that they can't believe they chose somebody that was such a monster? Or are you in denial because you're embarrassed of who you didn't vet this person? Or like, what is it that makes you just say no, he didn't? You're lying on him. Why would your child want to lie on your man? I'm sure that obviously the daddy ain't around. She probably is looking for some type of father figure. I'm quite naturally sure that they just ain't made this up, especially the ages that these kids were, ranging anywhere from 5 to 10. Why are they lying? And I'm not saying nobody older is lying. I'm just saying, and definitely in those age ranges, like what manipulation, what purpose, what would they have to lie? So in our Black culture, what is wrong? Can y'all give me what is your low self-esteem this mud? Like, why wouldn't you believe your child? And then keep being with the man. I don't know, y'all. But this is a heavy prevalent stuff in our community right now. And obviously it's been going on because these people are older, grown with kids and grandkids type stuff. Still living with the pain and the trauma of your own parent knowing. Your own mama walking in on your daddy type stuff. Like, I've had these stories and I'm like, what? And they didn't do anything? Like, no, just close the door. What? Nobody's beheaded. I mean, I don't know, y'all. Y'all gotta help me understand. Nobody's
I, you see me scratching my head like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why you, as a parent, would even allow or accept that. Um, but there are some women out here who are so caught up and so wrapped up in their own selfish desires and wants that they choose to be with these predators and just accept the foolishness because they feel like they can't be alone or they're less than. um and to me it's a self-esteem issue. um it, it, it's a self-esteem issue. You have some women out here, and speaking from stories that I've heard from personal, just close people. I know a male who was in a situation like that, um and he's an older gentleman. His parents, his father was a pimp and a Rolling Stone, and then his mama was a madam, and she they ended up giving the kids up, well, putting the kids in foster care, and well, the kids ended up being in foster care, I'll say. But in the time when they were in the home, they were continuously being molested by family members and just people in general, and the mom would just be um openly basically selling the children, basically, and then it, it's crazy. But and now that person is messed up. I'm not gonna lie. They say they have it all together and they think they have it all together, but I see, and I feel like, God shows me things and I have a good eye, and they that person is messed up. That person has been married about 5 times. You know what I'm saying? They always um have to be in a relationship. They have to be with someone. Um they, suffer from low self-esteem, although they say they're not, which they do, because you can tell by them constantly seeking approval and love and attention from other people instead of focusing within and dealing with their own issues and self love and self care. And it's a hard thing to talk to the person about because they feel like they got it all together, because they feel like they've arrived and they're this person and they're of esteem, and they got money, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and it's just like, and constantly being around, and I'm seeing things and I'm telling you, hey, that person might not be who you want, but you don't want to listen. And it's like they continuously jump in and out of relationships, but their intent is genuine. Their intent is for love. Their intent is to do the right thing. However, it just doesn't pan out that way. They end up getting hurt in the long run, and then, now we're back to square one. Now they're needing to pick up the pieces all over again. But I constantly try to give advice and say, hey, listen, although I've never been through things that you've been through in your life, I'm here to tell you, just because I'm an outsider looking in and I've seen some things and I've been around some things in my life and God's shown me some things and I have discernment over certain things. You need to take time for yourself. You need to heal within first. Heal yourself first. Don't don't say you're healed and not truly have gone through the full process of healing and making sure that you're healed before you jump and dive into the next situation. Fully make sure that you don't have any codependencies on other people. Make sure you're not doing things for other people's approval because this person said this, or the church told you that this is mandatory for you to be able to do this, or has to be this, or whatever. Hey, Rob, it's just the fact that, you and this is a male. This is a male, not a woman. Now, this is a male that's messed up like this. Just think if it was another way around, the other way around. But again, like I said, it's a sad situation, and I don't understand how, as a woman, you would allow someone to just um do your child like that and just put your child through that type of trauma because of you're wanting to be happy or you're wanting to do this on for you.
What are you possibly doing though? Like there is nothing. Okay. I mean, what are you possibly doing? What are you not doing? What you're being okay with destroying your child's life, and then when your child gets older, they don't even have an understanding of what true love, what intimacy is, what God's original design for sexual interactions are, because it has been overly tainted and overly I don't even know, overexposed and not even understanding. And then at a time when you're not even developed mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically to even understand your body, to even understand what is even happening to me right now. And What kind of mother? I don't get it when I keep hearing these stories over and over. I get so I gotta watch what I say. But just trust and believe. From the neck up there will be no more. That's all I'm saying. So I you that's just and then you have on the other end, sometimes you have fathers who will allow girlfriends or wives or whoever to be mentally, emotionally, and physically abusive to their kids. It might not always be with the stepmom sexual, but you'll let her beat the hell out of your kids, just because the mama ain't around, or maybe you didn't want custody, or just because you whipped up by this woman and now she mistreating your kids. I have a friend of mine that was like that, whose stepmom was very mean to her. Had her own kids, got with a woman who already had kids, had to bring his kid, and then that daughter was treated like Cinderella. Had to cook and clean and do everything for everybody else. Trauma. Trauma. I don't really know all the story of what happened to her mom, but I know that story when she told me that. And I was just like, are you serious? I was like, and you told your dad? Like, yeah. And he didn't do anything? No. Like you could physically see scars, yeah. How old were you? Like, baby, listen, I don't get that. Ain't that much loving, not being you have to have zero, you have to have 0.00000 levels of self-esteem. Because how in the world are you allowing this as a parent? Whether it's molestation or physical abuse, even verbal abuse, is saying you ain't my child, you ugly fat B, or you ain't nothing, you nigga, you gonna be in and out of jail, whatever it is. Who 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 is okay with this stuff? Like, I have to revoke your parent card. Like, what is wrong? I don't being an abused stepchild, you know, uh I just don't like none of it. I don't even like I hate even knowing somebody is a step parent because I automatically got the echo. I automatically go into I don't even like them. And I know I'm wrong for that, but that's just I gotta work that part. I still gotta work through. I still gotta work through that. When somebody be like, "Oh, that's my baby," that's my husband, that's his child. No, that's he's a stepdad. Mm. Automatically, I ain't gonna lie. I get these defensive mode, and he could be the greatest. He gonna have to. I'm gonna have to be proved and see it because automatically I feel that ain't his child. But that's because of what was done to me. So I say that I already don't, it already it's a trigger. But then when I hear that your own biological parent knew these things were happening and did absolutely nothing, what was that? First of all, the thought, first of all, I'm not too much of a lady, when it comes to finding out my guy would be cheating on me with a regular woman. But you sleeping with my child and then a baby, a little chick, baby. Listen, ain't no more of that. What are y'all doing? You wanna and you gonna lay with him? I don't want to lay with him if he was laying with a Barbara next door. But your child, so that mean he running from room to room? I don't understand him. It's mental health. It's definitely mental health. I don't get it. I can't get it. That's mental health, y'all. Go ahead, Mo.
It's a mental thing. It is definitely a mental thing, and it it's definitely a mental thing. And to me, a person has to be really sick in the head, have some type of mental distress going on, some type of uh, bipolar, schizophrenic, manic, whatever type of situation going on in their head for them to not even view that as being wrong first and foremost. So but for you And it's like it's as if you don't have the motherly intuition, speaking on from a mother's point of view, because God gives us that particular intuition, like we know our kids because we birthed them, they came from us. So you typically know your child, and you would know if your child is not being truthful or not. Or you can see certain things in your child, certain ways they act around that person, certain mannerisms, uh little eye movements, body language. You can tell what they say, how they act. Um, just as simple as a way that person handles that child. You know, um, you should be able to tell that they're doing something inappropriate with your child. So for you to just completely ignore that as if you don't see it happening, to me that's a lie. I don't, because I done seen people, I done seen stories in court cases to where the mom was like, I didn't know, why didn't you tell me? Well, I did try to tell you. Or you didn't see him or her doing this or whatever to me. um you didn't notice late night they're not in your room no more and they're somewhere else where they shouldn't be at. Or just little things. And it's like a person got to be real crazy in the head, real sick in the head, for them not to see that type of situation going on. And and for you, and even if you do see it and you just completely ignore it, like I don't get it. And like I kid you not, like I said, I've I've seen court cases, I've seen, you know, we've all seen movies in that were based off of true stories, um, to where that person was like, no, I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. They know what's going on, but they like, no, that's my man, and I'm not gonna, I don't want to lose my man, so I'm gonna just allow this to happen. It like crazy, like some real type of precious type of stuff going on, and it I just don't. It's a mental thing. It is a mental thing. It is a mental issue. Why it's that way, I don't know. It could be stemming from way back when, because we all know, we as a people, we got a lot of trauma. We got a lot of historical trauma that are implanted and embedded into our DNA that we can't get rid of, or try to get rid of, or ignore, you know. So to me, that kind of goes back to how we could say back to the slave masters and how they raped and molested our kids, and then how sometimes they would mate us together, brother and sister, you know, you know, son and you know what I'm saying, mama and son, father and daughter, just different things of that nature. And it's been imprinted imprinted into our DNA, to where we've kind of passed down those generational curses down the line, and we don't know how to break those curses. You know, a lot of people don't know how. They don't try. They don't. Right. Yeah. Generational trauma. And it's like craziness, because we can see that in just day-to-day life things that we go through in day-to-day life. Like you mentioned previously, how we get upset if someone else is killing us, but we're killing us every day. It's the same type of trauma. It's the same type of issues, the same type of things that go on in our community, and we just sit back and allow things to happen. Right, right, yeah, you right. Everybody want to sweep it under the rug like it never happened, or if we if we just push it to the side, it'll go away. And I get so tired of us doing that as a people in any situations, until we actually put our feet down, flat footed to the ground, and deal with our issues and our problems and our traumas. Things are going to remain this way, and they're going to remain messed up because we can't get our stuff together. But in breaking those curses, that it starts with us. It starts with you. It starts with me. So when we see those type of things going on, we got to deal with it. Our internal issues, and stop it and nip it in the bud right then and there. Not let it linger on, not continue to sweep things under the rug, not continue to just hide things and not want to deal with certain things and certain issues. It is just the way it is. And just like speaking, not even this type of stuff, just dealing with stuff in general. Because, there's a lot of, my family got a lot of traumas going on and a lot of things going on. And I see that people don't deal with things, but hey, I know for me, and on my side of things, I'm gonna make sure that I take care of what I need to take care of, so that I don't have to put my children, my children's children, and their children into any of that foolishness. So it's like I said, it starts with us, and if we don't ever talk about these things, we can't address them. We have to stop sweeping stuff under the rug. We got to stop hiding things. We got to stop just putting it down and burying it. We can't do that, because those things come to surface. Because at the end of the day, you hide things and you put things down, and you thinking you done buried it, right? But what happens if you keep walking over a certain spot after and kicking and moving around about it? Eventually, that stuff gonna come up to light, and that's when you get negative things that happen, because you've buried those issues and things down, and they manifest eventually come to the light, and they manifest in different ways, and now it's a whole nother trauma on top of the trauma that's already there. So we got to deal with it. We have to, especially as a people. We just have to. We have to. This.
So, like she said, generational trauma. I was inspired. 2015, God put in my spirit to do a women's conference, and that's where my talk channel even came from. And it was Let's Talk Real Talk. The conference was Let's Talk Real Talk. You got to be real in order to heal. And it was based upon these type of traumas and these type of things that happened to us. And like I said, it was a 60-year-old woman at that time. I think she's still alive. I was gonna say she might have crossed over though. But anyway, she came up to my conference. A couple men did, some women. mainly, and said that someone, I can't remember who it was, but she was 5 years old, and somebody had repeatedly been molesting her. And she broke down in the front of the conference and was like, I have never told anyone this. I'm 60 years old and I have kept this secret, and I have lived with the guilt and the pain and this and that. And I told her, out of everybody there, if I didn't do it for nobody else, I did it for you. That comes to today. I've been being heavily dealt with because of my final book. Um, is a hard one. The little girl who cried inside. God has been putting in my spirit to do another conference for that to be what is called the little girl who cried inside. It's not going to be basic. Men, if they would want to come, they can. But my heart is after so many of our women who live with this, who are broken, who don't have a normal sex life to this day because of things that were introduced to them as a child inappropriately. And then for the ones who had their parents, so you got a triple heal. So you have to probably physically heal if you were penetrated in any
You
type of
you
form.
see Rob's comment. He said that same thing.
What? I can't see it. But we have to heal from the physical trauma if you were penetrated. Then you have to heal from the emotional, mental scars from it being perpetrated on you. And then thirdly, if your parents saw and knew and walked in and saw this happening and did not protect you, now you have to heal from abandonment. That is still a form of abandonment, y'all. So now you have three things through your life, and you wonder why some people are sporadic or, kind of like when it comes to relationships, standoffish or clingy or whatever. We have to find the roots of these people before we get involved with them, because we don't know what their generational traumas are or their own traumas. You know what I mean? And so you have to get to know people, and then at a time you have to respect and say, hey, this is what happened to me. I'm still healing from it. Sometimes I have flashbacks, sometimes I don't. It's a lot of different triggers. It was somebody that I talked to many years ago, a guy. He was telling me that his wife was a certain kind of way and this and that. And when he was telling me, I said, some stuff was familiar. I said, was she molested? He was like, yeah, yeah. How you know that? I said, well, that explains this and that explains this about her. This explains why she doesn't like this, or you're triggering her and she doesn't know how to tell you, or she might even recognize that's what it's called. But I went through extensive trauma counseling, so I learned how to articulate certain things of that's what this is. So yeah, I mean, I tell anybody go to counseling. I don't care. I go to trauma counseling. If you have trauma, go to basic counseling. Is way different than trauma counseling, y'all. They are two totally different avenues. And sometimes you can't get past just basic counseling because you haven't dealt with your trauma. So you can go to basic counseling all day, therapy or whatever, but if you don't go to trauma, if you've been traumatized, which is 10, I mean, 9 out of every 10 Black person has been traumatized. We have some form of trauma in the Black community. It's sad, but we do. Rather be seeing somebody get shot, or we know the person got shot. Rather we have some type of form of drug, alcohol, sexual, physical abuse in the home. We have so much trauma in our culture that gets overlooked in the church. And they're not being funny, and then people cover it up with Jesus. Listen, you still got to do the work. He is not a magician. Nobody's shaking up no genie bottles. Y'all have to do the work. You have to recognize, first of all, that you need work done. So it's a lot to go into these things that's happening. But when but when I have people tell me they mama and knew or walked in, or they daddy let they wife or girlfriend beat the hell out of them. I just don't even know what to say no more, y'all. How is this even so? How is this okay? Rob, okay, I could see his coming on. He said, I dated a young lady way back in the day who was raped by a family member. I used to always wonder why she didn't like certain things sexual. Yeah, yeah. I know I definitely went through that in my first marriage. I definitely did. I went through a way, and I would be like, I don't. One day I finally had to tell him like that is a trigger for me. Like I don't say it was a trigger. Like I know the problem because I've been through the counseling, what words to use. But back then I was just like, stop. Like I don't like it. It makes me feel this type of way, and I was like, this is what happened. And then he was just like, oh, I like, yeah, don't do that. Like so, yeah, yeah. We have traumas, and so when you put in a lot of work that I put in, and people want to play in your face and pretend like they like you or they want to date you, that's why I don't play that. I don't have time for it because I put too much work in to be able to be suitable for somebody that deserves me. So I'm not finna play with you. I don't have time to play with you, and I don't ask for nothing but minuscule things. And if you can't give me that, I don't want to be bothered with you. We homies. That's just it. Because you don't respect me, you're not even trying to get into the depths, and probably because you traumatized your damn self. You got trauma you ain't dealt with. You got childhood issues you probably haven't dealt with. So no, and instead of us being able to tap into that part of us and own that, we'll rather gaslight and play games. Stop doing it. Do the work. I had to do it. Do the work. You deserve it to yourself to do the work. You owe it to yourself to do the work. Do the work. And any parent out there, if you on here and you up here putting a man before your child, I don't care if you got steak and hot dogs and you giving your baby hot dogs and your man steak, you're wrong. You're wrong. Because there's a lot of women that do that type of stuff too. Put that in front of their kids. You know, even if they ain't beating them or sexually molesting them, y'all cook them a full course meal and give your kids some Doritos and a hot dog. Like they can't eat, like they don't got teeth and can't eat a steak. My kids gonna eat what I eat. We all gonna eat what we gonna eat unless they just don't like it. But I know plenty of women who do that and who have, and I let the low side drag. Don't care if y'all don't talk to me to this day. Don't care. I said what I said. You piss poor mama if you gonna sit up there and get this man some of the best parts of your food and your child sitting up there looking like, can I have a piece? Can I have a piece of baked potato? You know how that make, even now I could cry. Like, you know how that make my soul hurt. Why is your baby having to beg to eat excellent? Because at the end of the day, this nigga be gone with somebody else, and your child is gonna be the one having to be there. How dare you? Look, I don't play. And that's the side of mode a lot of people can't take. They on it because it's brash and it's raw and it's rugged. I don't care. I don't play about that. I don't play. Don't play. No. What you doing? No. No. So women, if you out there doing that stuff, you need to tighten up. And I'm calling you piss poor to your face. To your face. On 9/11/2024, you're piss poor. Because nobody should come before your children. I don't care if it's their father. If he's not doing what he needs to do, and your children are suffering, and you still catering him just because he's their dad, and you don't want to be a single mom, but the toxicity in the home, you still damaging your children. Get yourself together. It's a team effort. Y'all lay down and create babies together. Try to work it out together. And if you can't, try to have a humble stance where y'all can co-parent and call it whatever. Because me and my last husband, listen, we ain't seeing eye to eye majority of the time. Do not. It's foolishness. But I try to keep a humble ground for him because we have a son. We got a son together. And I asked him the other day. I said, I know, because sometimes, me and his dad get into it. He can't help but hear the situation. And I said, I need to ask you a question because I don't ever want to offend you. I don't ever want you to feel like I'm disrespecting your dad. I said, do you feel some type of way when me and him have our exchange of words? You know what I mean? And do you feel like I'm being mean? Do you feel like are your feelings hurt? Is what I want to know. He was like, no, ma'am. I said, you don't have to lie to me. Are you sure? He was like, yes, ma'am. I said, and then sometimes when I joke with you, when I be like, oh, Lord, Timothy, because he have a lot of his dad's ways. I said, do you think that I mean something negative by that? Do you feel like you're inadequate in some form or something because I be teasing you about that? And he's like, no, ma'am. I said, are you sure? He said, yes, ma'am. I said, because I'm not doing that. I just tease you because you do have a lot of your dad's ways, a lot of his good ways, a lot of his funny ways. And I was like, Lord, Timothy, because that's your dad's name. And you remind me a lot of him and the different goofy stuff that you do. So I wanted to make sure because I had to sit and think, this could be scarring. I know what I mean. Kids can interpret stuff the way that they interpret them. And I don't ever want to have collateral damage. You know what I mean? I don't want later on he'd be like, Mom, every time you said something about my dad, you make me feel like I wasn't a man. Or you said, you know what I mean? I don't want that. I need to know, I need to understand that we understand that's what that is. And if it does offend you, I'll stop. And that's that. But we have to. We're accountable for our children. We are accountable to protect them. We are accountable to them. Once we brought them into the world, a lot of our things that we had to stop, and that's just choosing random men or random women to be around your children. People are crazy. If you have biological parents, if you have biological parents offing their kids and their baby mama and baby daddy and dropping kids off of bridges, you gonna bring a stranger in, and then you gonna bring a stranger in and watch them molest your child, and you just gonna close the door and walk away and go sit on the couch and wait till he's done? What? I'm telling you, somebody told me a story. This was their biological father and their biological mother, and the mama closed the door and went and sat down. Who does that? Can they all just go to jail? Can both of them? I mean, in due time. I don't know, y'all.
And two, what I want to say also as well, women, mothers, my sisters, and I'm talking to you because I care. Stop being so quick to openly bring your children around Tom, Dick, and Harry. We don't need them. So every time you turn around, this uncle, this your Uncle Charlie, this some, this uncle here, uncle this, Uncle Paul, uncle. No, stop it. That's why things happen because you so busy worrying about you and you're not worrying about your kids. I I listen, y'all. To this day, well, I talked to the person the other day, and but truthfully and honestly, I had a really close friend that I had a really close friend. We were really close. God kid, her kids were my god kids. And I gave her some advice, and I was not saying it out of jealousy because she was in a relationship or anything of the sort with someone I used to date, but that's neither here nor there. Um, it was the point of me knowing your kids and me caring enough about your children because I know the story. I've been around. I know the abandonment issues that your sons have in regards to their father not being there for them. They father move in and out of their life, not wanting them, not being there for them, doing whatever, abusive, not physically to my knowledge, but just abusive as far as neglect in other situations, verbally abusive, and you have boys, and we have to yes, I know men say we coddle our boys. I don't agree with the coddling either. But what I'm telling you is you still have to protect your sons, their hearts as well, because they're vulnerable. They have feelings also. They have feelings too. And you can't they need love. They have emotion. They need care. And all I'm saying is be mindful of that. When you have kids and you see different things, and I'm on the outside looking in, I don't even live with y'all 24/7 of the day. But when I'm around, I can see you got this child over here have bedwetting issues. You got this child over here just mean for no reason. You got this child over here that is emotionally distressed, and overly sensitive about everything. Come on now. Stop. And I get it that you want to be loved and you want to be in a relationship or whatever. But my ladies, women, I'm telling you, be mindful because your kids suffer just because sometimes you have to make those sacrifices to you have to make those sacrifices for the sake of your children's sanity, for their mind, for their hearts. If you see your child, like, don't continuously bring random dudes around your kids, man. If you're not in a if you're not in a real serious relationship with these men, stop bringing your kids or stop bringing these men around your kids. Just don't do it. And that's for the men also. For the men also. If you're not in a serious relationship with Keisha, Pam, Sue, Robin, any of them, don't bring those women because you never know. Especially like if you're a single father and you have kids at home, don't do it. Just don't do it. And especially if you're not talking to your kids and you're not getting a clear understanding of how they're feeling at the time. Because you have this dude right here, ladies. You have this dude right here, and y'all all lovey dovey, and they're always around, and the kids have bonded with them, and then they you don't went as far as to put this person on the list to go pick the kids up from school and just all that type of stuff, right? And then y'all break up. Now, not only does that child have to deal with the loss, they're already mourning the loss of their father because their father nowhere around. Now they got to mourn the loss of Mr. Such and Such. Okay?
Uncle.
Uncle. Look, uncle, whatever you want to call him. And after you do that, here you go again. The next person. Now that next person all up in your business, all up in your kids' personal space. They done bonded with the kids. Now, here we go again. Now something happened between y'all. Now y'all break up.
And the
Here we go again.
kids break up. And the kids break up.
And the kids break up. I'm just saying, let's let's do better. Let's do better. Let's do better.
You got to. You got to. And that's one thing I did with my boys. And that's why if I have mail company, because I had mail company the other day, and my son just be looking like, who's that? And I remember you when I first like moved here, and I moved where I'm at now, and I had my guy friend come over, the one I told you took me on the best day ever, Chris. I'll shout out to him. Um, After a couple months, he came over and brought us some dinner or whatever. And he said, "Your son just sitting here, just staring at me." He said, "One thing I could tell is that you don't have men come over here." I said, "How you could tell that?" He said, "Because he is not moving." He said, "Women who have men in and out of their homes, I've dated them. They sons is, hey, what's up?" And they go on about their business because they used to, this is usual behavior for my mom. There's some other nigga here, I'm going in the, you know. He said, but he is just sitting on the couch
I know my godson. I know my godson. Very
like,
protective.
who is you? Who is that? Who is that? Right in front. I'm like, y'all are so rude. I didn't. Well, who is it? I mean, he's sitting right
Look,
here.
rude, rude.
You could ask him his name, but and I can't even get mad and say that he's really rude because he's never had to do that. So he don't know how to say, who is this? And that is disrespectful because well, we've never had to have that interaction to teach him. I never had to be in a position that you have to teach him. If a guy comes over, you introduce yourself because that's just not what happens. So now that he's older and I feel a little more comfortable, like I'm like, well, I might date, I might, you know what I'm saying? But they know I didn't want them to be growing up to think women were whores or that. First of all, their mama, but I mean, just the average woman, minute and that. I didn't want them to grow up to think that. So if you grow up to treat a woman a certain type of way, it's because you wanted to do that. It's not because you were raised like that, and it's definitely not because of anything you've seen. So that's not it. That's just what you wanted to do. So that's what I want to take pride in raising him. Like, no, y'all won't be able to say that. Y'all choose to treat a woman. It won't be because y'all were taught any of that. That's because that's a learned behavior y'all picked up off of a video or something. You've been generational traumas. That curse came down from line to line or something. But it ain't because of your mom. We gonna stand on business about that. So if I do introduce a man to my kid, it's because I know they're potentially going to be around, like we're doing business. But as far as a personal relationship, I don't really like try to do that because at the end of the day, the kids break up too. Everybody heartbroken. Everybody. And sometimes depending on how much you end up loving that man or that woman, you ain't even copacetic enough to tend to your kids. They grieving and broke up too. So you so busy in your heartbreak, you can't even tend to their heartbreak. So just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
Right. And just
do
be mindful and just be mindful of it. Just be mindful of it. Because,
it.
like, some women aren't mindful of it. Like, they just don't pay attention to it. And nobody's telling you not to date or whatever. I'm
No,
just
no.
saying
I
be
still
mindful
dating.
and be right. I'm just saying be mindful and be careful about the company that you keep and what you bring around and who you bring around your kids, because if you when you lose that person, they lose them too, because especially if the child is lacking, especially if the child is lacking that male father figure or whomever. Now, not to say, you know, if your if the child, your child's father is an active part of the life, then I'm not saying that, because they see that, they know what that is, but be more mindful, more so if you're just a plain single woman who the father is not an active participant in the child's life, because those children have an additional set of trauma because they have a lot of abandonment issues and they're lacking that, that male figure. And sometimes kids act out and you'll see it in certain things that they do. I'm just saying. And that's just speaking from experience of being around certain situations.
Mm-hmm. Um, and I hate that uncle thing. I knew as a little girl myself I would tell my mom quick, that's not my uncle. You have another brother. She'd be like, what? That's so who mama had him? Because that's what we call my grandma. Well, no. Well, how was that my uncle? Like, I was always that kid. Like, always got. Well, who is that? So my mom quickly stopped telling people that was my uncle. Because I'm asking everybody in the family, well, did y'all know Uncle Son? Well, who dad is he? I was that child. Because that ain't my uncle. And you don't kiss your uncle like that. Like, so I didn't like that. And I don't like to do that because that's teaching incest. We all be sitting on each other. That's teaching incest. How is that my uncle, but you slobbing him down by the kitchen sink?
Yep.
How is that my uncle? He slapped you on your booty cheek.
Yep.
What kind of stuff y'all got going on?
Yep.
Why. That's so. Ugh. I never liked that. I was just wise beyond my years. Anyway, baby, I'm not. That is not my uncle. Did Mama have him? Well, who his daddy? Because
Okay.
I don't remember him. I ain't never seen him at me. And if that's
Who is
your,
daddy?
and if that's your uncle or your brother, because if he my uncle, he gotta be your brother. He's me my daddy, but my daddy is the only child like me, so I know that ain't my daddy brother. So how is this my here uncle? I need an understanding.
I don't know why they say that. Why would they say
I
that?
don't know. I'm telling y'all, as a little 6, 7 year old kid, I'm like, you don't kiss your uncle. Like, I just knew you don't kiss. That's not my uncle. You're not trying to get ass like me, Mom. Stop telling me that's my uncle. Because you're not kissing your brother like that. Like, I'm telling you, I was that kid. That was that kid. Like, I know you're not, that's Mom. That doesn't, how was that your
Look, that doesn't even make sense to me in my head.
just say that, you that's your friend. What you say, Rob? What Rob said?
Oh, he said that's why he go to all family reunions, right?
Right. That is not my uncle.
Exactly. That's crazy though. I never
Yeah, so
I never understood that whole logic of
yeah,
thinking.
I hated that as a kid, and I still hate it. I would tell somebody, quit telling that baby that's their uncle. They'd be like, Mom, stop lying. That is not your uncle, baby. You can be mad at me all you want. That is not your uncle. Then I'll tell them to the side. That's teaching your child incest. Oh, I never looked at it because y'all simple. Y'all minds is gone. Quit teaching. I never looked at it like that. Yeah, because who they know you ain't in there making all that noise with your brother? Like, come on, y'all. Stop the stuff. We got enough trauma. You be making up trauma.
Right, we got enough. We have enough trauma. We have enough trauma, baby. Enough. Enough trauma.
So trying to work through it to become our higher selves is enough on an individual daily basis. Boy, and the collective work is woo. But if we could work collectively, we might could kind of be better off working individually. But
Yeah.
we just don't want to act right. I'm just so heartbroken. And y'all think by getting somebody in office that look like us is gonna help us be a better us. It starts with us inside. Like I don't care who get in there. Like
Right.
we got to start with us being a better
Right.
us. Period. Regardless, it shouldn't take that to make us. It's not. This is the mentality of we're looking for someone to save us when we have the power to save ourselves. If we would buckle down and discipline ourselves and start being collective and connected as a unit of people of African, Black, Brown, Jamaican, Haitian, Pakistani, because I don't care how mad y'all is, y'all are derived from us, baby. At the end of the day, all I'm saying is, if we could all just get along. Like, y'all gotta make it make sense. It don't matter who in there.
Girl,
Cause it's
it
about
don't
who in
it don't
here.
right.
Who in
It
here.
don't it doesn't really matter about
Who in here.
who in there.
Who
Cause
in here.
first of all, that person is only a representative anyway. They're only
A
representing.
puppet.
They're
A puppet.
just the face. You know what I'm saying? They're just the face.
Of
They're just the
they
face.
just the face of the disgrace. That's how I feel. Of
Okay,
all the stuff that went on in the legislative branches, in the judicial. Okay. Let's talk about it.
girl. Cause baby, when I actually sat and watched the debate last night.
I heard. Well, who's eating cats and dogs? Because that's all I've been hearing about.
Listen, yeah, he was like, I was told, you know, they were eating, they were eating the, they were, they were eating the neighbor's cats and they were eating the neighbor's dogs and they were. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Why do you play so much? Oh my! Oh, so who is eating them?
Girl, he said,
Hang that up to the
because
music.
they, they let them come over. They let them come over the wall. They let the immigrants come over, and
Oh,
and and
immigrants.
yes, the immigrants.
So see, I was told that he said black people was eating
He
cats and
was
dogs.
talking
That's
about.
why.
He was talking about. He was saying
That's
immigrant. Like he was saying immigrants. Then he was flip flopping back, and then he started talking about black jobs and the black jobs and the. I was like, what, sir? What are
we're
you
back on black
talking about?
jobs again.
Girl, he had the nerve to say, ask Kamala. He said, so I they said you're black and then you say you're not black and
Well, he ain't
it doesn't matter to me, it doesn't matter to me, but it doesn't matter to me either way, but you said you were black. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Girl, I wanted to reach through the TV and just choke him and just choke him. I was like, what? Disclaimer, I'm joking. We do not promote any violence on this show. Okay? These are jokes. These are just jokes.
That's
Okay?
why I hate you.
Instagram. Gosh. But it was just like he was just so angry. Like
The Philippines.
everything what he said.
Zaza said the Haitians. Rob said the Philippines. The Philippines. I guess was eating them. I don't know.
No, he was saying like the immigrants. And those are people coming over from Mexico or whatever, right? So I'm like, they don't eat. I was like, those people don't eat. They don't eat dogs and cats. That you got the wrong. You got the if you're gonna stereotype, you got the wrong stereotype. Like you stereotyping the wrong set of people because those people don't even. I was like, it was just over the
You
top.
might be missing. You might miss a goat.
Right, right,
You ain't
right.
about to miss no cat.
Some chicken. You might miss some. You might be missing some chicken, some raccoon, some goat, something of that sort.
Maybe a
But
rat.
I'm gonna tell right. But what I'm going to, they're not going. Girl, I was just like, what is, bruh? What you talking about, bruh? What? I was confused, girl, because he was just so mad. Like he was just so offensive to everything. And I was just like, and neither like she talked about some policies, you know, I did like what she mentioned about a policy that they were going to help, you know, first time homeowners with, you know, $25,000 and towards first time homeowners, and um she was talking about some stipend for like $1,000 a month for, you know, things of that nature. I was like, what you say now? Look, I jumped up like, repeat that again. But it was just, they didn't really, it was more of, they did this, they did that. This was the worst. She's the worst vice president in the history of the country, and blah 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 blah. And he had the highest amount of votes ever from the Republican Party and ever in the history of the presidency. Just things of that nature. And I'm like, eh, nobody wants to hear that. Like, eh. Nobody wants to hear it. But I was ready. I was so ready for the jokes because all of my fellow comedians, I love y'all. I love y'all. If y'all do not watch anything else, just scroll through Instagram. Just scroll through the gram and watch Rita, the comedian Rita. Watch her. She is hilarious. I, and I know Godfrey gonna have one because that's a nut. Nick Few, he did his little thing. Lexi did her little thing. Girl, Lexi's so silly. She had her little dog, her little poodle. She gonna put the poodle in the pan, put the poodle in the pot, and turned on the oven, like preheated it, and put the poodle in the pot and set the pot on top of the stove. And she was like, we gonna season it with this. Girl, I was crying laughing. Just the jokes keep coming.
Yeah,
Keep coming
because
with
I
the
had
jokes.
said, I had told when she told me that, I said, well, that means we need to put Alex in the oven. My
Right.
other student gonna say, I don't think y'all Mir gonna be happy.
Not at all. I don't believe they
He
said
don't
that
know
every
nothing about.
presidential
He don't
debate
know
ain't
nothing about what's going on.
for
I'm
people.
like, well, Trump said we eat cats. He ain't said it, but that's what I was told that he said we did. I was like, what?
Yeah, Rob. I mean, again, like I said, people talk a good game and they say things that they're gonna do. I'm all about show, and if you show me, then we
They got
good. If
a
you
liar out of me.
right, if you can't show me,
They a
if
believer
you
out
can't
of me.
show me, then we're not good. And that
Well,
is what it is. Right.
mm-hmm.
Oh, you said ain't nobody gonna help them. Their interest rate's gonna be high. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what they're talking about. We'll see what they're talking about.
And then even with our topic that we started out with, that also goes with making sure that we have understanding, because that Wade law dealing with that, we were talking about the molestation, the incest, and stuff like that that is swept under the rug in our
Yeah.
culture. That would just leave a bunch of mess, a bunch of more traumatic mess, very traumatic. So yeah, that Roe versus Wade, we gotta. That's just a lot. It's a lot. But y'all know, I said we was gonna talk. We was gonna talk, and we started out with men. With the trauma of the ladies and the boys growing up, the men growing, ladies and men growing up, and still deal with childhood traumas such as molestation, physical abuse, emotional abuse, abandonment issues. We also talked about men not having the proper platforms they need to be vulnerable, to talk about their pain, to talk about their overwork, to talk about they just tired, to talk about they want love too, to talk about they want nurtured too, and I want nurtured by my woman without being called a baby or being made to feel less masculine or being made to feel, like I can't have a safe space. Um, you guys do deserve that, but I do want to say this. When you find that woman who does that for you, don't be gaslighting her. Stop playing in the women who genuinely do allow you to be who you are in their face, no matter what you know that you can handle or cannot handle. What you know, rather you know you can't focus or you can't focus. Rather you know that you cannot. That does not give you the right, because those are your sidebar issues or concerns, to mistreat the person who was placed in your life, who gave you that or who gives you that or who are willing to give you that as a man, without judgment, without hesitation, without looking at you sideways or questioning your sexuality or questioning are you a strong man or not, or none of that, but just allowing you to be vulnerable because you get tired. Y'all get overworked. Y'all do deserve that safe space. Y'all want to be protected too. And even though we ain't talking about you, having us pull out guns and, different things that, the protector is supposed to do, but you want us to be able to protect your mental, spiritual, and emotional health, you know, and we want you to do the same for us. It's certain stuff that we want to hear from you. We don't want to hear from somebody. We don't want to see from somebody else. We don't want to know from somebody else. That's protecting our emotional and mental peace. You come tell me. Let me find out from you. When I ask you, answer me the first time, because you have an opportunity to build or destroy, based on your answer, your reply on how you curve or not curve. So when God sends you that person who allows you to be that vulnerable man, 100% man, and you have the availability and are allowed the time to be vulnerable, to express, to vent, to say this is how I feel, this is how, this is what bothers me, whether it's with them or just with every day or just randomness. When you have that person, that woman, that female that has allowed you to be that, how dare you play with her?
Right.
That's all I'm saying. That do not give you the right to disrespect her in any form. So, or to mishandle her, to ignore her, to not, check on her like you expect her to be there for you in your vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
She shouldn't have to be the first person to always reach out and say how you doing.
Right.
She should be the first person to stay out and say, hey, love you, thinking about you. Love you don't always mean I'm trying to be with you. Love you means that I love you enough to care for your soul. Boo. So we went over all of that, and I feel like it starts within us. Again, it's what's in here, not who's in there. It's what's in here, and that's what everything we talked about today.
Yeah.
What your heart saying? Because at the end of the day, what type of legacy will you leave behind? The best gift, I'm gonna say it again, that we could ever leave our children with is faith. A faith and a higher power that is greater than us, that sustains everything concerning us. And if you cannot leave that, then what's the purpose? Because you're gonna leave these babies here hopeless and helpless, without rhyme or reason. And we could be crossed over, and we're the ancestors, long gone, and these babies is here just as lucid and lost. And we have the opportunity to just leave them nothing else, faith and love, showing them how to be kind and genuine in their
Mm-hmm.
dealings.
Yep.
Well, sis,
Fact.
you got anything else you want to say?
That sums it up. Oh, Rob
You
said,
said just someone. Yeah,
I
go ahead,
just
because I
want,
can. Yeah,
I just want someone that wants to be loved, not use me. Right. And
absolutely.
that's what we
You
all
deserve
want.
that.
That is
Yeah,
what we all want, and that's what we all deserve.
absolutely, absolutely,
But
absolutely.
again, like she said, and I'm just going to piggyback off of what she already said. And we've already said this, we've been saying this, and we preach this on a regular basis. It starts from you. It starts with you. It starts with that man or that woman in the mirror. You have to love thyself first and foremost. You love thyself and you love your higher power. Okay? Because you loving that higher power, you have no other choice but to love yourself because that power dwells within you.
The
So,
author of love.
exactly. So,
And
again,
I'm
like we always say, love yourself, care for yourself.
showing up for you.
Keep on keeping on, keep on showing up for you, and be the light
And somebody
in
else's
somebody
darkness.
else's darkness because you never know when your night is going to be.
That's the truth.
Those are like the realest things that we can ever say to you because it's the truth.
It's factual.
And when you are that light and you be that light,
Heck,
you
y'all.
have no other choice but to love because that's what we're here for. And like I always say, I love you for free and it ain't nothing you can really do about it. I might not always like what you do, but I still love you.
But I still love you. Because I'm mad at a man right now. I'm mad as hell. But I still love him. And that's just how it is. And I say you to your face. I'm mad as hell, but I still love you. And at the end of the day, I'm going to say this, because we had this discussion real quick. But I want to piggyback off of when she said your higher power. You know, people want to keep us at distant and odds based upon religion. I'm going to tell you this, and this blew somebody's mind when I said it today, but I love downloads. And these are spiritual downloads directly from God. Somebody might get mad, but you can't get mad at what's the truth. Well, you can, but that's just you. You just want to be mad. Be mad. You ain't raising my blood pressure. Somebody said, well, what? Because somebody, we were talking, and they were saying Allah. And they was like, Jesus. And I said, let me tell y'all something before we get into this. There wasn't even no J's. There was not no J's, yet we still call him Jesus. It's
It's
Yahshua.
Yahshua.
I said, but if he still answers to the name of Jesus, mean that he ain't arguing with nobody about what you call him because it's what's in here. He knows who you're reverencing. So if you really want to argue, we can argue about it. Ain't no, they say it's only one way and the one way is Jesus, but that's not his name. So we want to be politically correct. We always want to be political. Politically correct. That ain't even his name. So who you been calling all this time then? I know I was raised up on the name of Jesus before not knowing there was no J's, and I know that the Spirit of God showed up every single time. So if I call him Jesus, not even his real name, it's Yahweh or Yahshua, let me tell you something. Then that means that he ain't mad at the person who call him Allah. He said, don't blaspheme my name. I mean, don't call me El Beelzebub. Don't call me something like that. He said, but call me and I will come. So at the end of the day, we arguing about the wrong stuff in the wrong hour. Because if Jesus is not his name, which we can't lie no more, we can't make it up no more. It was not an alphabet, y'all. So we can't even lie. We can't lie. We can't argue. Stop arguing with people about that. Stop saying the only way is through the name of Jesus. If that was the truth, then we all live in a lie. Because his name is Yahshua. And he ain't stopped answering even though y'all was taught a different name.
Right.
So all I'm going to say to you, whatever they call him, they know what their heart cries. And he knows. He hears the frequency of the heart. I ain't meaning to get on here and go in, but I mean that. He hears the frequency of your heart. Stop this foolishness and this arguing because we're not getting anywhere as a culture of people.
Not.
Whether you're Muslim, whether you're fourth day, fifth Pentecostal Baptist, I don't even know, Episcopal, What is your heart saying? Who are you talking to?
7-day Adventist, whatever.
It is what is your heart saying? Because we've been arguing for the longest, been the biggest debate where people arguing there's no other name in the name of Jesus. Jesus, that ain't his name. Let's just be real. And it takes staunch religious people to bite their tongue. They be mad because I said what I said, but I said what I said, and I'm standing on business because it's the truth. What are you mad about? Y'all gave him this name. We've been calling this name. There's 1,000 names that is called. So y'all mad and y'all arguing and judging somebody who says Allah. What? When Jesus is not even his name, but y'all swear y'all more righter than Allah because they say Allah. Y'all more what? Yo, that's just foolishness that been separating us for thousands of years, and it's so stupid because his name ain't even Jesus.
Right.
It's Yahshua. And many other Yahs. The Almighty Yah. Yah is a whole another name, and it still is reverence to God. So y'all need to stop making people feel bad for that. When y'all up here, Jesus stomping, and that's not his name. Does he still answer? Yes. So why do you think he won't answer Allah? Y'all gotta make stuff. Y'all gotta start making sense. He is all loving, all knowing. What is your frequency of your heart saying? Because you can call on any name you want to call on, be full of hell's kitchen.
Yeah. And that's fact.
So what does it matter? What is your heart saying? If you never say another name, what is your heart saying? When you walk in a room, can people tell you've been touched by an angel or by God? So I'm over that. I'm tired of it. Don't do that. Because in all actuality, we the one looking crazy. Because if you want to, it's a name, but there wasn't even no J's. But God still shows up at that name. Why? Because it's the heart frequency. He knows that we talking to him. He don't care what the brainwashed to say. It's what our heart, our frequency is saying back to his.
Right.
Can we talk for minutes?
Right.
Real talk.
Yeah, we gotta get your heart right. Get your heart. Look, get your heart chakras in order, people. Get your heart chakras in order.
Stop the madness because it's only bringing sadness
and division
and confusion. And then you have the younger generation who we got right now who don't mind slaying somebody, you and anybody else. They is for sure from the show me state. Well, that ain't what that say. Now I done looked and I done read it, and then he wasn't even no J's. Now I done studied this. One thing about it, they gonna look into, they gonna Google up some stuff. And so y'all arguing because of what? Well, that ain't even his name. So how y'all write it now? What can you say?
You're not.
Well, because no, just say son, daughter, you're right. He has many names.
Yeah.
Stop that. Y'all stop that. Y'all stop that. And that was a download straight from him. That's not even my name, but I still showed up. And so you mad at somebody because they said Allah? I'm not. It's what their heart frequency is saying. This is like everybody that say Jesus ain't really for me, Jesus. Right. This is like everybody ain't for Allah, ain't for Allah.
And stop being so focused. Stop being so focused on these traditions and this religion and this religious activity, and learn how to have a relationship.
Personal. It's so personal. I challenge y'all to go look up Lady Harmony and just listen to Better Than Good to Me over and over again. Just go find it. Just listen to it. Just listen to it. Just listen to it. Just listen. Not one time in that song did she say, I don't recall, I can go back, she said anything about Jesus. And so I'm saying this to say the anointing of the yoke, The anointing destroys the yoke. The anointing is the difference. It's the power in your frequency of your heart. What is your heart frequency? Say back to God. That's all. And I'm letting y'all go. So at the end of the day, we want to get it right.
And back and that goes back to what we already said. Love, Love, or written in the Bible, charity. Okay, look it up. I'm just saying.
Freely I give to you love. Freely it should be given.
Freely.
Love is the only frequency that does not have respect to person.
Look,
And
and that's
still,
all. Look, and that's all we got to say about that.
that's it.
That's
Stop
it.
the madness. Tag somebody if you know they are dealing with this type of trauma. If you know anybody that is dealing with any type of abuse like this, please call the hotline. The child abuse, adult abuse, elderly abuse, because there are elderly women who get raped in nursing homes.
And
That
men
can't.
and elderly men who get sexually abused in nursing homes.
So please, call your local governor, anything that you can if you're being abused in any type of these facilities that you know of. Don't sit on information like that. And when it comes to the children, please, y'all call the hotline. Call 911. Tell your teacher, tell somebody that you can trust. Somebody that ain't afraid to check your mama or their daddy or them or whoever it is. Tell somebody.
Yep.
But again, we got to deal as adults with our childhood traumas and our adult traumas, because it's just trauma upon trauma upon trauma. And put in the work. God is not a bottle full of magic. You have to put in work. You have to put in work on you to be healed. And a journey may take you to your last breath, but put in the work for you. Don't you want to feel better about you? You wore a coat that was put on you that you never asked for. You don't have to wear it no more. Remove the coat. Acknowledge the hurt. Acknowledge it happened. And do your best. So let's try to work through it. Again, anytime you can DM either of us for questions, information, or whatever, or just to talk. We're available. Um, when I do start the conference, I will let you guys know. I will let you know what city or state or whatever I'll be in if it's near you. I will definitely let you know. But it's time. Too many people are wounded and hurt and broken and leaving here in the same state, wearing coats that they didn't ask to be in, which is trauma, sexual, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual trauma. But again, like we said, be the light in somebody else's darkness, because we don't know when our turn is going to be. She loves you for free, and so do I, and ain't nothing you can ever do about it. But I want y'all to go through the rest of this week being blessed, being highly favored, being amazing, being kind, sowing some type of positive seed into someone else's life, and just being the best part of you that you can be by working on you daily. And if you know you wrong somebody, do everything you can to make it right. Because life is just, you here, you gone. Yeah. And you can't say nothing. Get your stuff right. Don't abandon people who have rode for you based upon somebody else's inconsistencies and inconsistent stories. Don't leave your tribe that you know got the vibe when they genuinely love you enough to care for your soul. And that's all I'm going to say. I love y'all. Have an amazing week. Until then, next week is Asking for a Friend. Robert, it's your time. Y'all, please step in and DM us some questions. Rob, if you're going to DM me, please DM me in this one. Because I know you DM me on my other page a lot, child. I will never get the questions till 3-4 weeks, month later.
Or
I'll
send
be
it
on.
or send it to me, Rob.
Yeah,
Either or.
yeah. So I love
All
y'all.
right.
Have a blessed and awesome week. And I'll talk to y'all soon.
Love y'all. Call me,
Love
sis.
y'all. Okay.
Okay.
Later.